Township Board of Trustees meeting of January 8th. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So for tonight, we have two different public comments. So if you have a public comment regarding to the public hearing, you'll want that associated with the actual public hearing. So if you have a public comment for general business, anything other than our public hearing of necessity for South Bloomfield Highlands, you'll speak at the first public comment. If it's regarding South Bloomfield Highlands, you'll start when we start our public comment for that agenda item. So first on the agenda is to approve the board minutes for December 11th. We've all
Here's
had
the public comment.
Oh, sorry, I missed. I assume because I'm looking at the faces, I know most of it's South Bloomfield. Is there anyone here for public comment that is not related to our public hearing? Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And we'll next go on to approving the board minutes of December 11th.
So move.
Had a chance. Somebody's in a hurry. So we have Trustee Barnett has the motion and Trustee Murray with support. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass. Next, we'll go on to the public hearing necessity. And first, we do the presentation, and then we'll go ahead and open up to public comment, and then we'll bring it back for the discussion for the board to discuss what they've heard from the public and from the presentation.
Good evening. So tonight we're here for South Bloomfield Highlands proposed water main SAD. We are doing their first public hearing of necessity. Andy? Again, we're looking at South Bloomfield Highlands subdivision. This includes Barrington Road, Bedford Road, Devonshire Road, Hillsdale Road, Lancaster Road, Marlborough Drive, Mulberry Road, Rutherford Road, Somerset Road, and Traymore Road. Looking at roughly 14,450 feet of 8-inch diameter public water main. Oh boy. Fix me, Tom. Got it. This is a slide of the subdivision itself, what it includes and what it doesn't include. The project consists of a new 8-inch water main system that will be replacing an existing private well system throughout the South Bloomfield Highlands subdivision. There will be a 1-inch water tap off of a new 8-inch line that will extend to a stop box at the property line of each lot. We're looking at doing 3 connections to the existing township water system. That's going to include Barrington Road, just east of Woodward, Rutherford Road, and Mulberry Road. Cost for the abandonment of the existing water source, treatment, and distribution system is included, and again, that includes abandonment of the wells as well as the water main hydrants and gate wells. Petition's been confirmed by the township assessor. It was supported by 52.51% of the homeowners, representing 55.74% of the total acreage. And again, I know I told you guys at the last meeting, but that is low. There were more signatures, but we wanted to get this in front of you as quickly as possible to expedite the project itself. Estimated project cost is $8,534,323.56. Parcels in the proposed district are 220. That is going to come down to 217. We have 3 pending combinations. Tentative assessment is $39,328.68 per parcel, receiving a full unit of benefit. The assessments can be financed over 20 years, and the interest is to be determined after bonds are sold. It's going to be 1% over our bond rate. Our requested action for tonight is that you approve resolution number 2 and schedule the public hearing for final assessment for November 25th of 2024. We're looking to approve the agreement with HRC, design and finalize the plans, and bid the project. Are there any questions?
We'll hold our questions until after public comment.
Sure.
Do you want to do your spiel?
Oh, sure. Well, briefly, thank you for everyone for attending. We look forward to hearing any public comments that you want to provide to us. Those that were written via email were distributed to the members of the board, so we do have those if you provided it in writing to the public comment email address. Everybody is provided 3 minutes to address the board, and you can see the timer there. Please try to keep it within 3 minutes. We're not going to gong you at 3 minutes, but if you could wrap it up promptly at that time, it'd be great. So we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
You can just come on up to this podium if you'd like to start and get in a line. I assume there's quite a few that want to speak. Just come on up, give us your name.
Right, just,
Oh,
usually we ask for name and address. Please
Yep,
be
yep,
good,
yep.
so.
Good evening. I am Jim Tass, and I live at 268 Marlboro, Bloomfield Township. I'm the president of the South Bloomfield Highlands Association. On behalf of the South Bloomfield Highlands, I want to thank you and your staff for the effort it has taken to get us to the point of replacing our water system and connecting to the township's water system. In particular, I would mention Jen from assessing and Angela, I don't know where she's at, from engineering, from all their assistance moving our SAD forward, the SAD. As you are aware, our water system in our neighborhood is 100 years plus years old. It has surpassed its useful life. Our wells are old and produce water of poor quality with rust and arsenic. Our costs to maintain the system are increasing significantly each year. This past year, we spent $30,000 to get the system operating properly. Currently, one of our 2 wells has failed, and the system is operating on 1 well at the moment. Residents of the neighborhood are operating the wells with a hired licensed Eagle operator as oversight. We do not share the same fire protection as the rest of the township because the water system cannot support the firefighting apparatus. We are on the cusp of a failed system and need the replacement of the water system quickly. The system serves 219 properties. We have done everything the township has asked, circulated and delivered the expression of interest petition, circulated and delivered the SAD petition with the required signatures. All along the way, we were told that if we got the required signatures by December, the project would be bid in the winter, spring of 2024, and construction would begin in early fall of 2024. The October 9th, 2023 letter signed by Mr. Kratz stated that the second public hearing would be 90 days after the first hearing, with construction beginning within 120 days. In the review of the data for the first public hearing, as you said in the presentation, we noted the second public hearing is scheduled for November 2024, pushing this project further out by nearly a year. We are concerned with the continued cost of maintaining our current system and the potential cost increases for the new water main. Can the township step up and cover the cost for any overage in the project without placing that burden on the residents because of the delay in preparing the plans and getting Eagle approval? Can the township look into water grants for this project to help reduce the burden on the residents? Finally, can the township put some pressure on HRC to complete the construction plans and get them to Eagle as soon as possible? The water system is a necessity for life in our neighborhood. The system is fragile at best. We are in a dire position and need as much assistance as possible. There are a lot of residents here tonight from our neighborhood. To help move the hearing along, since there's an important football game tonight, as I hear, I would ask that everyone here for this hearing please raise their hands. Thank you. I would then ask that all in support please raise their hand. They may help, so not everyone, this may help, so not everyone has to come up and say the same basic information as I've presented. If you have any further questions of me as a neighborhood representative, I will be there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to come up and speak? Which one or the next one if they're against it? Next one?
They have to voice their objection.
At this one or the next one?
At the next one is the most important, yes.
Okay, so just a reminder that if you are against it for the Michigan Tax Tribunal, in order to go there to appeal it, you do have to state that you're against it. So,
Hi, my name is Tim Flaherty. I live at 2156 Devonshire. I've been here for 34 years, I believe, since 1989. In 1989, the board looked at doing just what we're talking about. It wasn't done. I dearly, dearly hope this time it goes through quickly. That's all.
Thank you.
anyone else like to speak? And if not, we will close our public comment. Oh,
One more.
one more.
Sorry.
You're okay.
I'm Glenn Wilcox, 351 Marble Drive. And I lived here roughly about 10 years. And I know with the water, and I'm pretty sure everybody else kind of made me agree, the water pressure with our hydrants and all that, that's my big safety, because my 10 years of being here, 2 houses burned down. And that's got a huge part to do with it, and I know that, and you guys know that too. So, I mean, that's my biggest concern is safety. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else want to come on up? Okay, so we're going to close the public comment. We also have a HRC representative here, Karen Stickle. We have our engineering director, Corey, here. We have Darren and Jen from assessing. So we'll open up questions. So we'll start with-
Just a comment.
Yeah.
I know we had some discussion before, but I think the board is in full agreement with the residents. We know it's a safety concern, very concerned about having enough water pressure in case of a fire. Of course, want clean water. As we discussed at the last meeting, this is a priority for us, and we really want to push this through. When you're dealing with water, you don't take chances, and we're not going to take a chance. And certainly in full agreement that we need to do everything possible to push this through with Eagle and with HRC, understanding there's a shortage and with possibly with personnel. It doesn't matter. We have to do whatever we can do to push this through as quickly as possible and correct that this was the expectation was that it would be 90 days after this rather than going up through to November, which I think is not acceptable to me, and that it's in November, and I want to make sure we can do everything possible as a board and as an administration to push this through and put as much pressure on HRC and Eagle to move this forward.
I just want to say I totally agree with Trustee Barnett, and in reading the packet, I was really caught off guard why it's all the way to November. Can you explain to us why the 90 days became so much more?
That's one that I want HRC to come on up. So Karen, if you can come on up, because I was at some of those meetings too where I remember the same dates that the residents do. So we're all kind of curious.
Yeah, I was just very caught off guard reading the packet because there wasn't really explanation to why it was so far.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us tonight. As you can see, I'm here wearing my colors. So I'm not sure where the 90 days came from. I don't recall ever discussing 90 days at a meeting. What we found is we need time to do the design. We haven't been officially approved to begin the design yet, so we do need to complete the design, and then we need to send it in for permitting. Eagle, we submitted a permit on August 3rd. We still don't have that permit yet. We would try to push Eagle along, understanding that this is a sensitive project and we want to move it along as fast as we can. They used to have a streamlined process for permitting. They do not have that anymore. They've had quite a bit of turnover. Our permitting agent that we worked with in Bloomfield Township for 15 or 20 years unexpectedly retired, so we're working with someone new. Again, it's taken 5 months to get this permit that we still don't have in hand yet. So we are going to speed the design along as much as we can once we get approved to do that, but our hands are tied when it comes to Eagle. Potentially a call from the township would help, or the township supervisor would help. But knowing that we can't control that, we wanted to be realistic about those dates.
Just to get some more information on the comparison, was the August one also related to a water system that they sent a letter to the residents saying you need to fix this, or is it like our typical permitting for like a building, like a non-life safety?
It was to replace existing water main in the township, some of your existing water main. So it was not related to a community or a well system that had gotten a letter for Eagle.
Okay.
I don't know how much the different branches of Eagle talk to each other, to be perfectly frank. So we just wanted to be conservative with that because, again, 5 months is pretty unheard of. I mean, we used to get these permits within 30 to 45 days, and so.
I know we're going to be using our legislators to help us talk to Eagle in hopes that that makes it a lot stronger, but that's not the whole year.
That's not the whole year,
Can we
correct.
discuss the HRC side and speed that up a little?
We are ready and staffed and prepared to begin design as soon as we get approval to do so. It is going to take several months to do that. This is a complicated project. There's a lot of coordination. A lot of the water main we put in, we do pipe bursting, so it's in the same exact location as the existing pipe. This is a new location. We have the preliminary route set already, but we do need some time to put together the plans, put together the specifications, make sure we have everything covered so we can get the best bids that we can. You know, weak plans and specs lead to a lot of holes in the bids and extras that are unexpected, so we want to make sure we have a tight set of plans and specs so that we can get the best price that we can.
Right.
So
So would like a 90-day design be possible, since I know you guys probably haven't done nothing? I mean, you knew this was coming, you already knew we had 60%, like we've been in a lot of meetings, and I imagine something's happened.
Well, prior to the last the petition going in, we did do topo, so that's
Okay.
complete. But since then, we have not been approved to move forward with anything else. So
Well,
we have.
couldn't we also have a contact from our fire chief, because we have had 2 house fires, and that's a huge safety issue, so maybe bringing Chief Leroy into some of these contacts with Eagle to
Well,
help.
the Eagle side, I'm talking about the
Yeah.
HRC.
Well,
It appears that
HRC is-
6 months of it is HRC.
I think we had.
That's even
I think we
longer
had.
than Eagle.
I think we had 4.5
Yeah.
months of it.
Okay, bring in
So-
chief on both. So
So we. I think we were 4. I think we were about 4 months of it. So.
4 months was, so we could be at approximately September, October, like we had asked for.
Would get there if we can make progress with Eagle.
So could you do 4 months then?
I think.
3?
3 would be great.
We'll take 2.
Knowing that this is important enough that even if there's some other non-life safety issues that you're working on for Bloomfield, those would take a backseat to a life safety issue.
Yes, we are going to push as hard as we can on it, but there are some things we have to do soil borings and do soil analysis. There are things that we can't just snap our fingers and have done, but we can get them done in, we can say 3 to 4 months and go as quickly as we can.
If you do
Are
that,
any of those things weather dependent, by the way? I mean, soil borings or anything like
Soil
that?
borings are not, and luckily we have the topo already because that is weather dependent, and obviously with the weather we've had, it's not a big deal, but if we get snow, it would have been. So it's good that we got that done ahead of time.
so then the next question is,
Is this, I'm sorry?
oh, I was gonna say, so if we can get 3 to 4 months from you, and then if we push on the Eagle with, obviously Jeremy, Donnie, and Samantha are our 3 most prominent, although we have other representatives, those are the 3 that truly represent the most. That I think getting the 3 of them behind it for us.
I mean, we'd love to
Help
be able to
pursue the
get
permit.
this bid earlier, and it would be great
'Cause
for
if
all
we
of us,
could ta-
but.
even just bringing their letter to them from a state representative, the senator and the 2 different Congress, is bipartisan too. I specifically worked both angles, that one is a Republican, one's a Democrat, so no matter who gets it, somebody will approve it.
Well,
That
it
this
seems
is,
like
I mean,
a-
life safety is bipartisan.
Well, and it
So no
seems
matter
like
who-
a permit. I mean, I understand the engineering things, they can try and squeeze it in, but some things are going to take some time. But a permit to take 5 months,
Well, but that's what Neil is referencing, is they don't have the staff at Eagle right now, and I understand that. But this is a life safety issue.
Right,
That's
it's a
why I was
priority.
asking what it was related to, because I know some of our building ones are a little slower, or some of our wetland checks, they're a little slower, but I thought maybe they'd be faster since they started the ball rolling.
You would hope so. Again, I don't know how much the different departments at Eagle really
Okay.
coordinate, though. So I think any push from the township or your elected or your legislators would help that.
I'll be in Lansing on January 25th, so there will be some discussions at Eagle State. I might skip a couple meetings and head over there. So we can definitely push on our side. So if we were to be able to move the 6 month, because I think there was a 6-month estimate in the, it was 6 months for HRC, 5 months for, to get us to November, which is the like 10 to 11
Well,
months.
so November, for that meeting, we'd have already gone out for bids at that point, so, you know, we like the permits in hand before we bid the project, and that's usually a month to 6 weeks before we're ready to award the project, because we need to give contractors time to review the plans and provide their costs, and then we have to review them and make sure everything looks legitimate and provide recommendations for whether the low bidder is qualified to do the work. So that includes that bidding process too. It's not just the design and permitting.
So if we can speed this up, we could just publicly notice that we're moving the date up. Like, let's say HRC finishes 3 to 4 months, Eagle within a month, we could just move the date up.
Yes.
So-
yeah,
Okay.
right. As long as we,
Give notice.
Give notice.
yeah,
So this
there's
would be a
those
worse-
requirements, but it's not this far in advance.
Okay. So this could be our worst-case scenario, knowing that we all want it a lot sooner.
We'd all like to get it started, yes.
If it's looking good, you could move the date up, and then if you don't meet that, you could then push it back again, too. So
Okay.
you can,
But with that meeting, not till late November, I mean, this, if you got the approval and all the bids and it goes all the way till next December or January, which at this stage, if we don't move it up, can they do the work in the dead of winter?
They can do some of it. They can start in the winter,
If we could move it up. to
depending on the
fall,
weather, obviously.
huge,
It would be good if we could move it up. It's all that's weather dependent. If we have a mild winter, they may be able to start earlier, but
Okay.
Yeah, but if we could move it up to start in the fall, would be great.
Questions? Chris?
Well, go ahead.
You need to go ahead?
Nope.
So a couple things. Obviously, as I echo them, our goal is to push this forward as fast as possible, but there are constraints that are outside of our control. Working with our partners at HRC and Eagle, our goal will always be to push this as fast as possible. It's a 100-year system. It's been failing for a long time. This isn't a new thing. We've known about it. We have emergency procedures already in place. Should your well fail, we already have things on standby. So we already have a plan B and C. Let's hope we don't have to use those. And then it shows that it's a 20-year flattening or smoothing associated with that. Why did we choose 20 years? Could it go longer? Is that based on the type of bonding we're doing? How does that work?
You want to go into that?
Yeah, I mean, water and sewer bonds are 20 years.
Yeah, and roads are 15.
Roads are 15. It's
Yeah.
a legal thing.
It's legally based on the estimated life of, like, some will go out as far as 50 to 100 years without the fixing, but typically roads last 15 years, so your bond needs to be paid up, and then water sewer before the next improvement is going to be 20 years.
Perfect, yeah. We had gotten some questions specifically on that and how people were going to be able to pay, whether it was all up front or how it was going to be done on their taxes. So I wanted to make sure we kind of clarified that for some people. And again, with Mr. Wilcox, obviously fire protection is important to me. In Bloomfield Township, that's what we have a high standard for. So I don't think that's a standard that homes burn down. I know our fire department has things in place in order to do that, but when you guys are right there at Woodward and Square Lake, putting hose across those major roads is a big deal. So again, that's why I want to make sure we get this done. You guys deserve really, really good services, and that's why we're here. So thank you.
One thing that's different on payments too, which, since you brought that up of how to pay, if somebody is, it used to be that if you sold your house, you had to pay it right away, and then you sold your house. With the changes that have happened, actually with the previous administration, went to Lansing, worked with Dirk and Mark to get an approval that now they're considered 21-year assessments as opposed to one. So if you were to sell your house, you can negotiate that the next person takes it on. So that's only for townships, right? Just townships. And that is new. That made a big difference. That's why SADs are a little bit easier now than they were before, but that's another quirk to that payment system. Are there any other you had some?
I have a suggestion, which is, we've got down the realistic goal of November 25th. I would propose we have an aspirational goal and say September 25th. And we can move it back if we have to, but it puts a flag on the ground. You can use it with Eagle to say, there's another date. It's this September 25th. I mean, I don't want to have to move it back, but I'd rather have an aggressive date on the record, and we move it back versus leave it on this day, which, Eagle will know that's the day, everyone will know that's the day, and use
I will
that.
precursor and let them know it's coming. That's what I'm saying. When I go in January, I'll let them know, hey, I don't have it yet. It's coming. And reach out. And Jeremy and Donnie and Sam are pretty good at getting things to move across, too. I think that'll...
like I said, any help we can get, because Eagle's sick of hearing from us.
Right.
They're tired of our calls. So.
Well, even though my call may matter, I know that a senator and a congressman matter a lot more when they're calling Eagle. So we'll get them on our side as well. And I know they would be. They've supported us on everything so far.
Right.
Corey, you stepped up. Did you have something to add?
I just wanted to echo, Karen already covered it about the construction limitations. So again, just with seasonal limitations of what the contractors can do, if you're bidding in September, November. By the time construction gets started, you're going to be at the mercy of Mother Nature. So I just wanted to be clear about that, when we're going to be shovel ready and what the contractor is going to be able to do through the project.
Thank you. So did you want to make a motion based on the suggestion?
Sure, I would, if you're okay, I'd make a motion that we approve resolution number 2 with the revision in paragraph 10 to note that we would notice the hearing for September 25th, 2024.
That's the right date, right? That's not.
Well, yeah, let's see, I'm about to say if there's a board meeting that
That's
day, actually, right.
So the 25th is a Wednesday. You mean the 23rd?
Till 23rd.
September 23rd, so Monday. Is it Wednesday because of a holiday?
Actually, I don't know.
There was one September meeting, I think.
Either a
Did you look
September,
on town
October
for a
is due to
schedule?
a Jewish holiday was moved.
I'll wait for
Mine is
July
showing
on
that's the
top.
23rd.
I think that's right.
I think it is a Monday, because I
don't think
moved
we've
all
moved
my
it that
Wednesday
day.
ones.
I have it on the calendar that way, Danny.
23rd?
23rd.
Great.
23rd.
Yeah, so just to revise that, my motion would be,
Just to clarify, you had specified paragraph 10. Were you also going to suggest paragraph 9 be modified, as well as the
oh, yes.
date for submission to the clerk's office in paragraph 8? And we will,
Throughout?
To
Say
adjust
throughout the
appropriately
document?
throughout.
yeah, why don't we do that, and with changing the proposed date for the hearing to September 23rd of 2024, and adjusting the other dates accordingly.
Right. So my motion as revised is that we approve the resolution number 2 to set the public hearing date for September 23rd, 2024, and adjust all other dates appropriately in the proposed resolution number 2.
Support. Support.
Motion by Clerk Brooks, support by Trustee Key. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass. And thank you all for showing up tonight for that. And thank you, Jim, for all the work that your team has done. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so next we have consider approval of MiCLASS as investment option for township funds presented by Treasurer Schostak.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome. Just occurred to me.
We,
Give him a little push.
hold on, just wait a second.
Yes.
Okay, so part of my responsibility as the treasurer is to manage our funds that in a way that is safe and liquid, but also able to generate a good return or a reasonable return. As such, I'd like to add the Michigan Cooperative Liquid Assets Security System, or MiCLASS, to our portfolio of investment vehicles. It's a $4 billion local government investment pool. It's run by a private investment advisor. They manage in total $77 billion in public money across 17 states, one of which is Michigan. By my calculations, if we move a large chunk of our available surplus funds that are currently in a money market fund and put it into the MiCLASS local government investment pool, we could get between $2,000 and $3,000 per week of additional interest just by making that move without sacrificing liquidity or safety of our principal. So my goal for the for the foreseeable future, as we have an inverted yield curve, is try to maximize our return on short-term investments before we have to start looking at long-dated types of securities. So I'm asking the board to consider and approve the resolution in your packet that will grant the treasurer the authority to sign the agreement and enter into the pool and make it something that we can invest. Oh, one other thing I'll add is that in addition to having $4 billion just in Michigan, there are 740 local government agencies that use MiCLASS. Oakland County uses them, Birmingham Schools, Bloomfield Hills Schools, Auburn Hills, Birmingham, Farmington Hills, Rochester Hills, Novi, Shelby Township, Waterford Township, and West Bloomfield Township. And in fact, the treasurer of West Bloomfield Township is on the board of directors. So that's my spiel. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to lecture for 3 hours.
Thank you for presenting that to us, and also with the surrounding municipalities that use them. So I think it's a great use of resource and make additional returns. So unless there's anything, I'll make a motion.
If there's no questions? All right, motion by trustee Barnett,
Support.
support by trustee Kalinsky. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Next, we have approval of payroll and vouchers for January 8th. We've all had a chance to look them over. Unless there's any changes, I'd look for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kalinsky.
Support.
Support by trustee Murray. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passes, and we have one last
I move we adjourn.
motion by clerk Brook.
Support.
Support by trustee Kalinsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes. Thank you. We'll see everyone in 2 weeks.
Okay?